Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shenae from Beech, if you don't already know, and I'm very happy to have you here. I haven't answered a lot of 90210 questions in a very long time, and it's just because life moves on, but I know that everyone is trying to stream the show right now and struggling to find it on any of the platforms and stuff like that, so I thought this could be a little something to make you smile during your quarantine at home. Please subscribe if you're not already, because we want you to be a part of this little YouTube familia of ours in the Beech house. When I was looking at all of the hundreds and hundreds of questions you guys had for me about 90210 on my Instagram, I was struggling to come up with a lot of the answers because it's just been so long since we filmed the show. So I thought maybe I would phone a friend, or two or three. I lost count. I called a lot of friends and we were all really happy to talk to each other and answer some of those questions for you. Get comfortable, get cozy, and enjoy this trip down memory lane all together for the first time in a very long time. Hi!
Hi! I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy that we're doing this. Thank you so much for organizing.
Yes, I'm so happy. I was just like, I found that old footage the other day and I was like welling up.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I see like the post on Instagram being tagged in it, I get so emotional. It's just such a huge chunk of our lives.
I know. We have another participant waiting.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's so perfect.
Oh my God. Somebody else is here.
Hi. Oh my goodness.
What?
Hi, guys.
Okay. In character.
Oh,
You are. I know, it's Naomi's back.
Somebody else is here now. This is so funny. Oh my God.
Hey.
Husband, they stole you from me.
Okay, that's better. I can see everybody better now. Yay! Groups in the
Alright,
house. There she is.
Whoa, hey.
Sure, y'all. What's up? So nice to see you.
Okay, can anyone guess who the last person to arrive is going to be? It's not this person who's coming. Who's the last?
It's definitely gonna be Tristan.
Yeah. Hi, Matt.
Hey.
Hello. What is going on
Are you
right
wearing
now?
2 watches?
What are you doing?
Sort of Brady Bunch right now.
I discovered alcohol. It's amazing.
Oh my lord.
Oh, it's amazing. The Lord is good.
How old is your? It's
Alan Jackson. It's
your
fine.
newborn's a boy, right, Steeks?
I have a newborn 3-month-old.
Oh my God.
Oh man, congrats.
Thank you.
How's having two? Tell me everything.
There is no time for anything. They'll probably show up right now. Like, it is so crazy. How old's your daughter, man?
Birthday.
She's like 4 as well, right? Or
McKinley?
3? Yeah, McKinley.
She is 2. She turned 2 in December, so yeah, like
Oh,
2,
wow. Okay.
2 and 3 months, 2 and 4 months. Yeah, yeah, she's down for a nap.
Well,
Yeah.
my cat is 7 years old.
I'm strong.
She's fantastic.
Where's Willow?
Where is Willow?
Kevin Garber. She's 11.
Willow's the guy's.
11 on the 21st.
wow.
Willow's the guy's.
Oh,
Pretty
You
good.
guys all look the same. You all look great.
Who sent the photos in the group chat?
Oh, Tristan.
Tristan, right?
Kristen? I was like, wait, who's sent
You know, the person who's still
I'm
not
like,
on the call.
Oh, no, it's Tristan's.
Oh my
Okay.
God, anyone?
Where is that little shit?
He
I just
forgot about us
texted
already.
them.
I'm gonna DM him right now.
He also like posted about it on Instagram.
No,
so
he
he's
responds.
like,
If you
Yeah, I
DM,
know. He's like, can't
he'll
wait.
respond in like 5 seconds. I'm gonna write him right now.
He just had a baby, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a couple weeks ago, right?
He.
Yeah, he's a dad.
I did not know this information. How about the
Yeah.
fact that I didn't know Michael Steger's real age until like 2 days before we wrapped the show?
What are you talking
None
about?
of us
30.
did.
Cute.
None of us did. Oh my God.
Guys, I'm turning 40.
What?
7.
This
No.
year?
Yeah.
Shut
Wow.
How do you look?
Am I the
How do
oldest
you look
one?
so good?
Yes,
Oh,
you're
I-
the best one for sure, right?
Except for Trevor.
But
Or
Trevor,
were
yeah,
other
Trevor.
people lying about their age?
Trevor always made me feel good when he was on set because I'm
Trevor's
like,
older?
that guy by far looks
I
way
think he's older.
Go. Oh, I forgot. Right?
have to go. That's why I wouldn't.
Oh, everyone was obsessed with Annalyn's alternate ending of U2. So they'll.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there for that, actually.
Oh my God, you weren't.
You got a body double for my man Josh here?
We should have all done something like that just to make fun of it.
You know, it's never too late, Michael.
It's never too late.
Never too
I
late.
just saw the SNL
Yeah.
I mean, no one.
soap opera, which is pretty brilliant. Did you guys
I mean,
watch
what else are we doing? Just shoot on your iPhone at your place. Send it in. Somebody will edit. Shenae, you can edit it together, right?
There you go.
Yeah. We'll do it on a Zoom.
Me and
We'll do the whole like 5 or 10 year forward or whatever was going to be in the first place. Remember
Oh
that?
my God, don't put
that
that
was good.
out there. People would.
Yeah. I miss you guys. It's very nice to see you all.
So
And-
nice
All
to
right,
see
Josh.
you and your beard, Josh.
Kiss.
oh,
The kiss.
am I kissing on the? What do I? Are you doing this? Look.
Mhm. Oh,
Oh,
Well, this
perfect.
isn't comfortable at all.
Wow.
Very good. That's my excitement for the day.
You take it easy.
Bye.
See you later, bud.
You guys want to answer some fan questions?
Yeah.
A lot of questions were about Ethan/Dustin disappearing. Do you want to like talk about that? Do you wanna,
we got so quiet.
Yeah. Why not?
like people are like, where did Ethan go? Why did Dustin Milligan leave so suddenly?
We had our 2 show creators leave, and when we had the new team come in, I think they wanted to switch things up, and Dustin always had a bit of a he's a comedy guy, right? Like he's got a bit of a different vibe to him, and he was having to force it a lot of times to be the like hunky boyfriend, cool, whatever.
Well, the show was supposed to be canceled, right? After season 1. I think everybody was like, well, this is it. The show's not going to make it.
I didn't know that.
Well, no, I mean, like the whole shift in producers, like there was, the show was on the fence. Yeah, second season really, that's what I heard. Like it was like, I mean, like
I feel like the popularity of the show didn't begin until like years after we ended.
I know.
Like,
I agree.
I don't, maybe it's just because like social media became so much more prevalent, but like
Yeah.
my social media blew up like years after they put us on Netflix.
I'm actually in a lot of ways glad that the whole, Instagram thing wasn't a thing at that point, because I'm actually terrible at all of it. So for me, it would have been hard. It would have been harder. I also want to be spreading good things if I can, and use a platform if I can. And I'm always impressed when people are doing it in a positive way. Like Shenae, holy shit. I love your videos. I love your stuff.
So fucking good.
For us, it was tabloids at the time. Like Instagram's kind of the new tabloids, which is so much more instantaneous and would be so much more daunting and scary. But like, I remember reading so many comments about myself when we like first started being in tabloids and stuff, and like just being gutted, like devastated that was how people perceived me, and that was what was being said about me. And and now I think, hopefully anyway, it seems like social media has become a much more positive place.
Oh my goodness.
What's up, girlfriend?
Hi!
Hi, pretty girl.
my friend that I work with on a TV show. I was so nervous when I booked the show. So by season 3, Gabe and Jeff Judah come up to me and they're like, Steger, you gonna memorize your lines? I was like,
Oh no.
I'm gonna memorize, and because I couldn't get my lines out, I was like really nervous.
Wait, episode 3.
No, season 1, episode 3.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I was like, you got
I was
nervous
like-
like 3 seasons in.
You were on a show for 3 years and you still couldn't fucking remember your line. What was your guys' most memorable scene?
I mean, the banana in the pocket slam on the lockers was memorable for me.
That was pretty fantastic.
I remember I had a scene with Lowndes where it was like there was this long scene in season 1 where I had to slam the door like 20 times.
20 times. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the drug stuff was pretty hard for me. Season 1. I loved the scene that we shot at the monastery, the Christmas episode, the ice skating. That was definitely funny, because we got there and it was like 100 degrees out, and it wasn't a real ice rink. It was like plastic.
Oh yeah, and they like
Plexiglass,
put stuff on top of it.
Weird goo on top, and then because I'm Canadian, they just assumed I was good at ice skating, and I told them I was. And then I got out there and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this and sing at the same time. So they made a human sleigh, like to try and like.
Right.
One of my most memorable scenes was, and I can't even remember who all was there, but it was, I think, the last scene of the first episode when we're on the beach by the Santa Monica Pier, and they're like, just run in, and we're like, really? And they're like, yeah, go. And we just all ran into the ocean in our like pretty dresses. And I just got goosebumps again thinking about it, because I just remember being like, holy shit, like we're doing the damn thing. Like we're at the Santa Monica Pier on our TV show. Like this is so surreal. And I just remember, because I loved the OC so much in high school, you know, so I was like, we're it, like we're the next OC, like this is so cool.
And we shot on their stages. For anyone who watches this afterwards, fun fact, we shot on their stages.
Can I just pause this for 1 second to inform you that Tristan is sorry he's late. He thought it was Eastern time, which means he would have been even more late.
I remember when he fell asleep.
yeah.
That's so
Totally.
cool. Oh, you have to hear this story. This is a great story to tell.
On set?
In the hospital.
Kristen
In the hospital bed.
in a hospital bed. It's a serious, everyone's crying. We're
He's
all
been
like,
hit by the car. He's in a coma. Like,
oh my God.
and we're all like just devastated, like streaming down our faces.
As hard as we can, you know, and it's like finally, like we give the line and he's supposed to say something and there's just not, there's like a like, oh my God.
And it was you. You were like, I think he's late.
Is he asleep?
I don't think Tristan slept at night. I think he would work on 902 and then he would go to the studio, record music, and then he would stay up all night and then come to set. So I think, yeah, he needed
So
it.
he just didn't sleep for 5 years.
When we did the San Pedro shoot,
Yeah, and you fell asleep during the scene. So that was,
sitting straight out in the car.
yeah, I was talking to her. It was my coverage and she fell asleep.
That's called
I literally,
relaxation.
This is a true story. I did talk to my agent like the next day, and I was like, I talked to my agent. I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I got into. She can't even stay awake like to do a scene with me. It was like literally one of my first scenes. I'm like, hey, welcome to the show, Matt.
I do remember first season when we were shooting 15, 17-hour days or whatever, and we saw like a sunrise, a sunset, and a sunrise, and they brought us freaking like McDonald's breakfast sandwiches. You guys remember this?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I hit my car so many times when we were filming. I've never, like, knock on wood, had a fender bender since, and yet I had at least 6 while we were filming because I was just so tired all the time. And I always hit like still objects. Like, I was, like depth perception was off.
Funny story. It's not about you this time, but
Oh shit!
Wow.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Oh my gosh.
we're talking about our favorite, most memorable moments.
Oh man. Honestly, the firefighter moment, firefighter stripper moment, that was great. That was great.
Wait a second.
That's
I
the
have all the
best
footage of the
thing.
rehearsals for that.
Post it.
I'll post it. I have all the
We
rehearsals.
rehearsed for like several days for that thing.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we were good. We were
hilarious.
good.
We were good.
Actually, pretty good. Yeah, we were
lived
actually.
a lot of
It's
life
honestly one of
together.
my favorite moments too.
I don't remember this.
Does anybody remember how at first we could drive our own golf carts and then
Well,
figure
Until
Like-
Tristan.
Yeah, it was
sorry,
Tristan.
Tristan knocked off somebody.
You're not supposed to
no
accelerate when you go over the bump. You're supposed to slow down, Tristan. Slow down.
I didn't have my driver's license at that time, so I didn't know any better.
When was your baby born?
December 11th.
Whoa.
Oh, hey,
Good
Tristan,
dad, Tristan.
are you sleeping? Like, how's things going over there?
Oh no, I'm not sleeping. No sleep. The no sleeping thing, I'm starting to get used to. I already didn't sleep much as it is, but like, you
We
know.
talked
We
about
talked
that.
about that.
If you guys, if there was ever a reboot of the reboot, would you say yes? Would you do it?
Oh man,
Wait, are we talking about like a full series or like?
That's a tough question you just asked us here.
Yeah,
If we could do like a sixer or like a.
Yeah, like a mini series.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
Like a 4-part movie. Great.
I love it.
Series.
Mini
I
series.
love that.
I'm gonna do one more question before we go. Most
Oh,
popular question I get asked, like, why are me and Matt not actually a couple? It's like, what? I can't.
Hey, I want to know. In the new version, will you be married?
Probably, I guess.
In
Yeah.
the remake, I have several pool boys. So.
All right, Shenae, what are some of the other questions?
People ask a lot, like, did you guys get along?
Next question. We have to give ourselves a little bit of credit that what we were up against and what we were dealing with, and the strain that was put on just the human experience, working those hours and doing what we were doing under those conditions. It clearly, it takes a toll, and we figured it out and we made our way through it, and I think that's amazing.
It was just so nice to see all of your faces.
It was.
Yeah, man, I miss you guys, man. We got to do this more often.
It was such a huge chapter of our lives, and I think it was such formative years of our lives, and I know that we've all been a part of casts and things like that, but like I'll never feel connected
Nothing like this.
to a group of coworkers the way that I feel connected to you guys.
I mean, we shot over 100 episodes of TV.
It's a lot of time.
Oh, a lot of people can say that. That's like
And we went through the shit.
100 hours.
I love all of you fuckers.
Love you too. Love you guys.
We love you too.
Glad you're all doing so well.
That was so much fun to film. It was so fun to just chat with all of those guys, get the old gang back together. But wait, there's more. Out of all the questions I got from people on Instagram about 90210, at least 50% of them were about a character named Ethan. And we tried our best to address that in our group call, but all of us were struggling because none of us were Dustin. He just wrapped up Schitt's Creek, the cult hit comedy that just had their series finale after 6 amazing years on TV. So without further ado, Dustin Milligan, Annie and Ethan back together for one time only.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. How are you?
how's it going, man? When you reached out, I was just like, yeah, this is great because my schedule just happens to be open from like now until eternity.
Yeah.
So yeah, why
It
not?
was a good time to just reach out and have a blast from the past. Okay, so I've already told you this, but by far and away, one of the most frequently asked questions by fans when I ask them, what do you want to know about 90210? Everyone's like, where's Dustin Milligan? What happened to Ethan? Where would he have gone? Whatever. So what do you think would have happened with your character had he continued to go to West Beverly High?
Yeah, it's weird because it was like 12 years ago, and it's like, to be honest, I don't know that I've given it a lot of thought since then.
That's good. I mean, if you spent the last 12 years thinking.
Yeah, no, it would, yeah, and it really is like, oh shit, sorry, hang on a second, I spilled my, hang on.
Oh
Let me just. But yeah, no, I haven't really, to be honest, I haven't thought about it.
Oh my God.
It's such a mess. I haven't thought about it at all. But I
never crossed your mind.
no, well, I mean, look, it'd be weird. Like, it was a great thing while it happened, but it'd be weird to just, 12 years ago, we were to be like still thinking about what would happen.
Yeah, it would be really, really weird.
But yeah, no, I think that, what happened with Ethan? He like moved to his dad's farm or something?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I think in the text message, he was like, yeah, peace out, Silver. I'm at my dad's farm. So I feel like he's just like some like organic farmer.
I like that.
I mean,
I
he's
like that for him.
He's like farm to table, and then also as a side hustle, drives like Uber or Lyft.
That's a good,
Yeah, to his other side hustle, stripping.
You're obviously a funny guy. And I don't think people got to see as much of that as I would have liked, and I'm sure you would have liked, and I'm sure they would have really liked on 90210, because it really wasn't a comedy at all. Eventually they made Annalyn kind of funny just because she was so outrageous. But now obviously you've just spent how many years? 5 years, right? 5 years on Schitt's Creek?
We did 6 seasons.
6 seasons, 6 years on a really, really funny show. How is that different for you to kind of get to play to your strength?
The original role was comedic. Like, he was this kind of like funny, there's a bit of like a stereotypical dumb jock thing that I loved. And so for me, it was like getting to do that was so great, but then the role changed by the time we actually shot, and it was tough because I was like constantly trying to force my way into being a funny character, making everyone very uncomfortable. I have since been able to play a lot of comedy, and Schitt's Creek being obviously the one that people are responding to right now. And it's great because that's something where it's such a collaborative show, and I was able to, I love telling puns, like really bad, dumb puns. And that's something that I started doing, again, uncomfortably forcing them into takes. To the point where they're like, well, we gotta keep it because we're losing the light here. It's great. It's honestly been such a pleasure because I love it so much. I love bad jokes so much.
I know you do. I know this about you. It's been a long time, but I do remember that. A very commonly asked question, of course, was what was your favorite, most memorable scene to film? And I think we had the same one.
In the very first episode, you and I on the beach with the Ferris wheel at Santa Monica Pier behind us, doing some scene about like, hey, welcome to LA or whatever. I don't remember what it was. But no, I just remember it like in between takes, you and I just kind of standing there and like there's all the hustle and bustle of what's going on, but then just looking at each other. I remember actually saying like, hey Canada, like how fucked up is this, right? And that's by far like sort of encapsulates the entirety of what was so great about that experience for me. Was just, you know, you're from Canada, I'm from Canada, I'm from a town of 19,000
You're
people.
from like real deep Canada.
Yeah, and like to be there in that moment, it was wild. It was so wild, and I still every now and again I think about that. And yeah, no, it just really was a cool thing because it's like how did we get there?
I know. I remember all the interviewers saying to all of us like, "Are you ready for your life to change?" And we were like, no, I don't, like, what? No.
Yeah, I remember we went, you probably won't put this in, but I remember I was meeting up with you and Strout, and you guys had just left a dinner with like Maroon 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just kind of like,
and I spilled Adam Levine's drink all over the fucking table.
Classic. No, but I remember that, and then like later that night or the next day, we like went to like Kanye was performing at like a Nokia.
Yes.
And then outside we met Aubrey Graham.
I know, and like I got to the end of the carpet and Aubrey was there, and we were both like, we had one of those me and you moments of being on the beach, and we were like, dude, where the fuck are we right now?
It was so wild. It was in a way kind of wonderful that we had everybody telling us how much our life was going to change, and they did, but it was so great to get to experience that kind of whirlwind, but then it didn't actually happen. And in a way it was nice because it's like, you know, there was like paparazzi attention and stuff in the very beginning, but then, I mean, I especially got to go back to a life of anonymity, and I didn't have that attention. And you know, there was a lot of pressure. We talked about that. There was a lot of pressure to embody, not only just sort of fill these shoes of the original Beverly Hills 90210 stars, but also just to embody what it meant to be a young woman, or for me, a young man. And it was something that I was really uncomfortable with, and never really felt, I never felt like that was who I was. Again, just thinking back to it, which I rarely do, it is such a strange
I look back on that time and it's affected me so deeply for so much longer than I would have ever anticipated it doing, because it was just a job, but it was so much more than that. You know, I battled with it for so long, and now I'm like, what a fucking amazing story to get to tell my daughter one day. And you know, like, how cool that we got to experience something that's just like so insane and like surreal.
That process of working on the show, and then, you know, the years and years and years of therapy afterwards, it really did help me figure out, like, oh, actually this is who I am, independent of not just that job but any job, and not just that character but any character. You know, I like to act, but it's not everything that I am.
I love that. That makes me so happy. That took me so much time to figure out myself. Well, I've loved talking to you, and I'm sure the fans are going to be so excited.
Thank you very much for having me, and for including me. I know you guys did that other Zoom call, but I guess my email invite got, it's weird. I think maybe I got hacked or something. The hackers specifically deleted only that invite.
Something like that. No, but I did it, and I am an asshole. And I was like, this feels so weird, because like nobody even cared. Like no one had any questions about any of our specific characters. The only specific character questions I got the entire time were about you, and you're not even on the fucking call. So I need to call you.
This has been really cool. What a trip down memory lane.
I know, right?
Talk about a blast from the past. Getting to connect again and really feel like we are our own weird, dysfunctional family forever and always. I hope it was nice for you to watch and feel like you were part of the 90210 gang once more. If you're not already subscribed, then please do that and hit the little notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video, because you never know who's going to show up on this channel next. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah!